I wanted to show you a little bit how I plan for our science. We try to do a science study every other day. The kids really enjoy this. What I've made is, for my planning, I have here planning options for science. So I go through my list of 10 things. This is how I plan. One, the first thing you can do is Google your theme for studies and resources. So, for example, our last theme was on the ocean and fish. So I'll show you a little bit of what we did. So I Googled it. I found different video clips. So number 2, you can find YouTube video clips. I found some fish, things under the ocean. We watched the song from The Little Mermaid on Under the Sea, and that was lots of fun. They danced to it. We learned the names of the different fish and sea creatures that we found in there. 3, learn a song or a poem. So we learned the song Under the Sea, and we found a little poem all about fish, and we learned it together. Number 4, read books on the topic. So here I've collected books. I have this one. It's about the ocean. It's in French. So not only did we learn about the ocean, but we read together in French. So it also made up for our French practice. So it's about the different sea creatures, deep into the ocean. Yeah, this was a fun book. I looked at all the animal books I had, and I found different parts. This is mainly about other animals, and it had a whole section about creatures of the deep. So we read parts of it, and we looked at the different pictures of different kinds of fish. We looked for our favorite ones. We looked for funny looking ones. So we have this book. I found something about fish from this book, all about pets. There's a page here explaining that how your fish can be little pets, what you need to feed them, when to feed them, how to take care of them. And we also spend time feeding our fish, watching them for a few minutes. Another book I had here. This one is a little more advanced for older kids, but we still enjoyed learning about what is a fish. And there's even a little activity to do, which we did. So we went through all our books. Next it says, okay, so read books on the topic. Number 5 is find related Bible stories, which we also did. We all know the well-loved story of Jonah and the great fish. So this was a fun one to read. So you can also incorporate your word time in there. Another story is the big catch. When the disciples went fishing all night long and they didn't catch any fish. So this is from our word box, our little, which instead of using flannel graphs, for example, we use little objects. These are the fishing boats. This is the blue sea. These are the disciples in their boat. Anyway, we tell the story together. And when Jesus walked on the water, and he said, cast your nets on the other side. So they cast their nets, and then you fill the net full of fish. These are little bath stoppers, and these are little wooden fish. So these are little things I've collected for our catching fish story. So we did that. We also put in our little drama because they acted it out. So you can incorporate your word study in there as well. And then our next point is do a worksheet or color page. So this is where it says to Google your theme for studies and resources. We not only found clips on it, but we also found some worksheets. Here is from a little science book. So we did this page all about fish. You had to match up the fish and color them. Learned that fish breathe underwater and fish come in many shapes. And then here's another little booklet all about oceans. So we haven't done this one yet. This one will be a fun one too. There's some cutting and pasting to do. So you can look online for different activities, worksheet pages, writing pages, questions and answers. You can see, I'm sure you can find something for each level, whether it's for very young as these ones, or you can also find just a color page if you like. Okay, our next one says arts and crafts activity. So I found an activity. I'll show you here. It's on our shelf, so here it is. We just used some little foam pieces and we learned these different fish names. We colored the fish, the sea creatures, and we also glued the name. And there is our little sea creature mobile. Something very simple. So that was one idea that we did. And let's see what our next thing is. There's lots of little arts and crafts activity. We just did one of them this time. Number 8, game or dress up or act out. We played a game for this one. It was a little bit difficult to dress up or act out like fish. Although if you're doing an animal study, that's a great one for acting out. A little game I have here, a little fishing rod and some magnetic fish. See the magnets here? So we put these in the water and they had fun fishing them out. So that was our little game. And another little game for my toddler. That was for my preschooler. I have here some shells. She had to sort out the different types of shells, for example. Put these together, these kinds together, the starfish. So we learned about the different shells, which also lives in the ocean. So that was fun, as well as using her little motor skills and pre-writing exercises for her little fingers to pick them up. And I have here another little container with different animals and sea creatures. So once again, we learned the names, we learned the vocabulary words of these. And it was fun because it's something that they can feel and touch. We then put these in a little container and filled it with water. And they had some fun time playing with that. It lasted like 20 minutes. They didn't want to stop. So if you have any objects or pictures or little cards, anything you can use for your theme, feel free to do so, as it adds fun and variety. Let's continue our list here. Computer game on the topic. Now, if you also Google that, you'll find some topics of computer games. We didn't do one for this one, but we did lots of other things. Number 10, our last one is flannels, stuffies, or objects to play with. So once again, that's where these objects came in handy. Something else I had was, these are flannels of under the sea creatures, fish, and so once again we put these on our flannel board. We learned the names and they played with these for a while as well. And the last thing we did was we took out our whiteboard and I gave them each a marker, or I used the whiteboard and they got a piece of paper, and we learned to draw a fish. So we made a puffer fish. Eyes. Oh, we made his little scales, his little tail. This is an easy one because it starts off with a circle or oval. And we made some little bubbles. So they did their best at this one.